Your birthday shows up, and instead of feeling special, you feel nothing. Not sad, not happy, just blank, like the day has no weight anymore. And that's the weird part, right? Because you're not a cold person. You still care. You still feel things. So why does your birthday feel like a random Tuesday now? Most people think the birthday blues is just depression or being dramatic. But that's not what this is. A lot of adults stop celebrating their birthday for a much deeper reason. And it usually starts way earlier than people think. When you were a kid, your birthday felt like magic. Even if you didn't have a big party, you had something better. Expectation. You believed something good was coming. You believed people would notice you. You believed you mattered. And now, you wake up, check your phone. Maybe you get 2 texts, one from your mum and one from your bank telling you your payment is due. You go to work. You answer emails, you eat something quick. And at some point, you remember, oh yeah, it's my birthday. And you don't even know how to feel about that. Some adults say they don't celebrate because they're mature. Others say they don't celebrate because it's not a big deal. Some people even joke like, I'm too old for that. But the truth is, most adults don't stop celebrating because they got older. They stop celebrating because they got tired. Tired of hoping, tired of being disappointed, tired of feeling stupid for wanting something simple. Because birthdays are not just about cake. Birthdays are about being seen. That's why the birthday blues hit so hard. It's not really about turning another year older. It's about what your brain thinks that day is supposed to mean versus what it actually feels like. And the moment you stop expecting anything, the moment you stop hoping people will show up emotionally, you also stop feeling excited, not because you don't care, but because caring started to hurt. Let's talk about the first reason. Birthdays start feeling empty as an adult. It's something psychologists call expectation pain. Basically, the higher your expectations, the harder the crash. And birthdays are built on expectations, even if you pretend you don't have any, because deep down, most people still want the same thing: to feel chosen, to feel remembered, to feel important for one day. But here's what happens when life teaches you the opposite. Maybe when you were younger, your birthday got ignored. Maybe your parents were too busy. Maybe money was tight. Maybe nobody really showed up. Maybe you had a party, but you still felt alone in the room. And when that happens more than once, your brain starts to learn a pattern. Don't get too excited, you'll just end up disappointed. So you stop building it up, you stop telling people, you stop planning, you stop expecting, and you call it being chill. But it's not chill, it's self-protection. It's your nervous system saying, I'm not doing that again, because when you expect love and don't get it, it hits the same part of you that felt small as a kid. That's why some adults don't even want birthday messages. They'll say stuff like, please don't post me. Don't make it a big deal. I hate attention. But attention isn't the real problem. The real problem is the fear that the attention won't be real, because fake love feels worse than no love. And birthdays are a perfect test for that. It's the one day where people are supposed to show love. So if they don't, you can't even make excuses anymore. You can't say they forgot. You can't say they're busy. You can't say maybe they didn't know, because they knew, and that's what hurts. Now let's talk about another reason birthdays feel like nothing now. It's not just disappointment, it's emotional exhaustion. A lot of adults become what I call the responsible one, the strong one, the helper, the one who remembers everybody else's birthday, the one who plans surprises for other people, the one who shows up even when they're tired. And if you're that person, your birthday doesn't feel like a celebration. It feels like another job. Because you know what happens when your birthday comes around? People ask you what you want to do, and it sounds nice, but it's not. Because it's basically them saying, tell us how to love you. And you're like, bro, I do that for everyone else all year. So instead of feeling cared for, you feel like you have to organize your own love. And that's not a birthday, that's a group project.
That's why some adults would rather do nothing. Because doing nothing is easier than feeling like you have to perform happiness for other people. And if you've ever had a birthday where you smiled the whole time, but inside you felt empty, yeah, that's the birthday blues. It's when your body is present, but your heart isn't. Now here's where it gets deeper. Birthdays don't just bring emotions, they bring time. A birthday is basically a checkpoint. It forces you to look at your life like a timeline. It's the day your brain goes, okay, another year passed. What happened? And that can feel exciting if you're proud of your life. But if you're not, it feels heavy because birthdays make you measure things. How far you've come, how far you haven't come, what you wanted by now, what you lost, what you never got. And the older you get, the louder that question becomes. Is this it? And that question is scary. So some adults avoid birthdays not because they hate celebrating, but because they hate reflecting. Because reflection can turn into regret real quick. You start thinking about the dreams you dropped, the relationships you stayed in too long, the chances you missed, the version of you that used to believe anything was possible. And suddenly the birthday doesn't feel like a party. It feels like a reminder that time is moving, even if you feel stuck. And nobody wants to blow out candles while thinking about that. Now let's talk about something nobody says out loud. Some people don't celebrate their birthday because they don't feel worth celebrating. Not in a dramatic way, in a quiet way. Like, they don't hate themselves. They just don't feel special. They feel like they're surviving, not living. They feel like they're useful, but not loved. And if you grew up in a home where love was conditional, where you got attention only when you behaved, only when you achieved, only when you helped, only when you stayed quiet, only when you made life easier for everyone else, then birthdays can feel uncomfortable because birthdays are about receiving, and receiving feels wrong when you were trained to only give. So you downplay it. You say, it's fine. You say, don't waste money on me. You say, I don't need anything. But the truth is, you do need something. You just don't trust it. Because when love comes with strings, you stop wanting gifts. You stop wanting attention. You stop wanting celebration. Not because you don't want joy, but because joy feels unsafe. Because joy feels like something that can be taken away. So you keep your birthday small, quiet, forgettable, because if it's forgettable, it can't hurt you. And if you're listening to this thinking, damn, that's me, let me say something important. There is nothing wrong with you. This is not you being broken. This is your brain adapting. This is your heart learning how to protect itself. And honestly, it worked because you survived. But there's a cost. The cost is you stop letting yourself feel excited, even for your own life. And that's where the birthday blues becomes bigger than a birthday. It becomes a symbol of how you treat your own existence. Now here's the twist. Not everyone who stops celebrating is sad. Some people genuinely find peace in it, and that matters because there's a difference between quiet and empty. Quiet can be beautiful. Quiet can mean you're not chasing attention anymore. Quiet can mean you're finally living for yourself. Some adults stop celebrating because they realized something. A birthday party doesn't fix loneliness. A cake doesn't fix burnout. A happy birthday text doesn't heal old wounds. So they stop performing, they stop forcing excitement, they stop trying to make the day feel magical, and instead they make it real. They take the day off, they eat their favorite food, they go on a walk, they sit in the car in silence, they watch a movie alone, they breathe. And that can be maturity, that can be healing, that can be a form of self-respect. Because sometimes the most grown-up thing you can do is stop begging the world to notice you and start noticing yourself. But here's the problem. A lot of people aren't doing it from peace. They're doing it from pain. And the difference is simple.
Peace feels soft. Pain feels numb. Peace feels like, I don't need much. Pain feels like, I don't want to need anything. And that's the line. Now let's talk about the moment most people don't admit exists. The moment you realize you still care, even if you pretend you don't. It's when your birthday comes and nobody really shows up emotionally, and you act fine, you laugh, you say, it's cool. But later that night, you feel something. Not a breakdown, not tears, just a quiet sting. Like a little kid inside you going, oh, okay, same story, and you hate that feeling. Because it makes you feel childish. It makes you feel needy. So the next year, you decide, I'm not doing this again. And you don't. You stop telling people it's coming. You stop expecting messages. You stop planning. You stop caring out loud. But here's the thing. That child inside you didn't stop wanting to be seen. They just stopped asking. And that's what makes this so sad. Not the birthday. The silence. The quiet hope you still have. That someone will notice without being told. That someone will remember without a reminder. That someone will care without you having to explain. Because real love feels effortless. And when you've had to earn love your whole life, you crave effortless love more than anything. So when your birthday feels like nothing now, it's not because you don't want connection, it's because you don't want disappointment. Now let's bring this home with something real. If you're the kind of person who skips your birthday, I want you to ask yourself one question. Do I feel calm? Or do I feel closed? Because there's a difference between being private and being shut down. Being private is choosing peace. Being shut down is choosing safety. And both make sense, but only one of them feels like freedom. So what do you do with this? You don't need to throw a party. You don't need balloons. You don't need to fake excitement. But you do need to honor something, not the date, you. Because even if nobody claps for you, you made it through another year of stress, another year of pressure, another year of showing up, another year of trying your best with what you had. And that deserves something, even if it's small, even if it's quiet, even if it's just you sitting somewhere and saying, I'm still here. And if your birthday feels empty, maybe it's not telling you that life is meaningless. Maybe it's telling you that you've been living on autopilot. Maybe it's telling you that you've been giving too much. Maybe it's telling you that you've been waiting for someone to finally see you. And maybe this year, you don't need the world to do it. maybe you start with you. Because the real opposite of the birthday blues isn't a big party. It's presence. It's feeling awake in your own life again. It's letting yourself feel something, even if it's not happiness. It's letting the day mean something, even if nobody else makes it special, because you're not a background character in your own story. And you never were. If you want the next video to hit even deeper, click the one on the screen.